So I'd like to welcome you to ULS, Cooking Up Something Good. And we're going to talk about why I'm doing that. I would like to ask everybody, do you remember being a starving college student and your refrigerator looked like this? Does anybody remember that? Where you're trying to make a meal? I was a starving college student. And I'm trying to make a meal out of, some ketchup packets, a jar of old olives, some moldy cheese. This is kind of what teaching RISE was, teaching a self-contained class was before we had ULS.
Yes.
You were trying to make something out of nothing. And that was very frustrating. I would like to tell you that I have a lot of experience. This is my 25th year in a self-contained classroom. It was a link a long time ago, and now it's RISE. And so I remember these days of doing everything with nothing at all. Or at times it was really bad curriculum. But no more. ULS solves this problem. This is what our kitchen and pantry look like right now. I want you to picture yourself in a fully stocked kitchen. Your pantry is full, your pans are gleaming, everything's ready, you've got all the spices you want. So let's put on our apron and learn some new dishes, okay? So the main things that I'm going to talk about is the main things. ULS has a ton of stuff. If you have gone in and messed with it at all, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, there's so much. How do I learn to do all the things? I don't want you to learn to do all the things. What I want you to learn to do first is make one dish with beef and one dish with chicken and one dish with pork. And then once you get the basics down, then you can expand and start adding fancy spices, right? Okay, so what we have stocked in our kitchen is everybody should know the ULS monthly units, okay? We've got those are our main thing. We also have courses. If you don't know what that is, we're going to talk about that. We've got our N2Y library, our N2Y current issues, breaking news, and then symbol sticks. I'm only going to touch on very briefly at the end. There is a course today in symbol sticks, so if you want to go to that one, please feel free.
Are we going to have access to the slideshow?
I believe it is already. They sent this out, and this schedule thing that you'll have. And if you click on there, and where they send it out, you'll be able to have the whole slideshow. So, yeah, it's on there. So what I want to ask you is, what I hear from teachers more than anything is that it's so overwhelming, right? There's so much. Well, think about a fully stocked kitchen. Do you use every single thing in your kitchen at every time you cook a meal?
No.
That would be ridiculous, right? I really want you to picture this curriculum like a kitchen that you're standing in. You're going to make a meal. You're only going to use the things that are useful based on the season, the occasion, who's coming to dinner, right? That's what you're doing. So the first thing I want you to do is wash your hands. By that, I mean the schedule. Does everybody know what the scheduling piece is, right? Throw it away. It's absolute crap. Totally useless. Okay? Wash your hands, it's gone. Does not exist. I've actually heard rumors they're phasing that out because nobody really likes it. The problem is that it is front end heavy, very hard to tweak on the run. We all know that everything in our classrooms goes perfectly every day, right?
Yes.
We never have behavior problems. We never have a surprise walkthrough. We never have any breakdowns, right? If you have any of those things, the scheduler, totally off. And you can't get it back. You can, but it's really hard. So wash your hands of it, ignore it, throw it away. Most everything you need, especially if you're just learning, is going to be in the unit lessons. We're going to spend a lot of time right there. What you want is if your students can access the computer, they've got a Chromebook, a MacBook, something like that, and they can and are capable of using the student interface piece, all of that can be done from the planner. They don't have to do it from the scheduler. Okay? You can just assign one thing, 10 things. You can do them multiple at a time, or just one at a time. You can do all the students or a few students, but you can do it all in the planner. So these are the things that you're going to need most of all. All right, where do we find those things? I'm going to have several screenshots throughout here. So if you want to take your phone out and take a picture of any of this, please feel free. So when we hit the menu button, that's this button right here. It's going to drop down under my account. You're going to find planner. We're not using this button ever, ever, ever. Never, ever. Okay?
Show me that again.
You're going to hit menu. And under my account, there's the planner. I'm going to talk about that more. And under unique learning systems, you got unit lessons. First two things that I want you to learn. Okay? When you plan the menu, okay, first you're going to start with an appetizer. What do you do first every day? We all have some kind of morning meeting, circle time, carpet time, whatever. What's the occasion? Where's the starting point for your planning? This tells you what to cook to turn that into a meal. What's a given? So what do you already know without thinking about it? And then what's for dessert? What are the fun, enriching things that you're adding to it? So let's start very quickly. Everybody should know how to do this. What I want to point out to you is what you can use in ULS to get your appetizer going, right? So we've got today's weather, breaking news, Joey's locker, and of course you can always add your own twist. You know, we have YouTube videos. Good morning, right? So if you don't know where those are, when you go to menu, under news to you, you've got breaking news. What breaking news is a very short article with 3 questions at the end. I read the news article to my kids every morning. A lot of time it'll have a link at the bottom. You can go and further expand and explore. I just do the article because I'm just getting my kids going, right? We talk about what day it is, what year it is, all those kind of things. Then we go into the news article. For me, I teach middle school. I think it's very important for my kids to access the news because most of our students have no idea what's going on in the world around them. No idea. Because they don't watch the news. They're at home on an iPad doing YouTube or Fortnite or whatever they're doing. Right? You can also do today's weather, which is a very interactive thing. It's really good for lower functioning kids and elementary, I feel like, because you talk about what's the weather doing outside and what season is it, and you dress the little character that you pick, and it's very interactive. And then Joey's locker is, think of that kind of as something they can do on the computer by themselves while you're taking attendance or something. Okay, it's very independent. But it's a skill practicer. All right, and then everybody knows, you're all very experienced teachers, right? What's a given? You're going to fill in the parts of your schedule that you already know, okay? That's where you just populate your schedule, okay? Because we're talking about planning our menu, right? Planning our menu, planning our lesson. So this is the easiest part. You fill in specials, PE, therapy, all the things you already know. I don't have to tell you any of that. All right, now, what is the occasion? These are the monthly unit themes. Does everybody know that ULS unit lessons is broken up into monthly themes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I don't have to explain that. So our themes are thematic and flowing. The theme is all the science and social studies are covered on a 3 or 4 year rotation, depending on which band you're in. Is everybody in one of the K through 12 bands? I don't have any ESCE or transition people in here. Okay. Then all y'all are going to be 3 years. So the themes are science and social studies. You do science 1 month, social studies the next. Goes back and forth, okay? So I hear a lot of people say, there's not enough social studies, there's not enough science. The whole theme is science, or it is social studies. And you should be expanding on that, right? The story content will all be centered around whatever this theme is. And it is cross-curricular. Every core area will be addressed in the theme. Then you've got special activities, which become easier to plan once you do that, once you've got your theme on target, okay? So if you want to know what themes are coming up, you're going to go to Menu, Unique Learning Systems, Year Topics, okay? Once you get there, you're going to see this screen. You're going to click on K through 12 schedule. There's some seats over here if y'all want to sit over here. K through 12 schedule, and then here it is. You're going to just look at whatever band you're on. This tells you it's 22, 23. I'm in middle school, so this is the unit 21, 22, 23, and it tells you all of the units that you've got, okay? I print this out and I keep this, and you can see what's going to be the next 3 years. Well, right now it's got 22, 23 up, but it'll show you what's coming. And they rotate. So this was 22, 23, so this is probably going to be 25, 26. You see what I'm saying? So it just rotates round and round. All right, so now we're going to take that theme and we're going to turn it into our meal. We know we have our 4 core, our 4 courses, right? ELAR, math, science, social studies. Under each of those, you have options. Remember, we're not cooking everything in the kitchen. We're going to pull from these options. Okay, we're going to look at what we've got in the pantry and we're going to see what we can use. You're going to find those things that I talked about under My Account, Unique Learning Systems. Okay, menu, Unique Learning Systems. You've got the library, unit lessons, courses. Has everybody seen courses? Do you know what I'm talking about? Has anybody looked at it? Okay.
Wait, go back.
Courses.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, there's your topics. That's where we were going to go. And current issues is going to be under news to you. This is where you're going to find a bunch of the worksheets and things, right?
Okay.
All right, and then we're going to add in the sides. Okay, so we've got like social skills. Some of us have life skills, daily learning skills, daily living, those kind of things. Whatever your school calls it at the time. But we've got the same things available to us. But we also have extras, core, and extra materials, and we have Rethink Ed and Visual as well. So where do we find those? Extras, into our library, unit lessons, core materials, and extra materials. If you haven't clicked around in any of those are places to go and just see what's there. Because it's really just sort of a mishmash of a lot of different things. You might find a social story. You might find a visual that's already made. You might find a little song that, because it's a happy birthday song or, whatever. So there's kind of a lot of different things. Core materials has kind of a lot of life skills, daily living kind of things in it. So those are places to go. Don't be afraid, just go and click. Okay, go click around, see what's there. Okay. Our main curriculum, when you click on unit lessons, let me go back. That's right here. So we go menu, unique learning systems, unit lessons. You're going to spend most of your time, if you're brand new, you're going to spend most of your time right here. Okay, when you click on that button, it brings up something that looks like this. You can have all lessons, which is what I'm showed here. This is a middle school, because that's the only band I have access to. But you're going to have these boxes, okay? You can divide it out. So you can pick out just all the reading lessons or just all the science lessons or whatever. And you can either click PDF if you want to print something, or interact if you want to do like a whole group lesson. Okay? Suggested unit pacing. If you are, if you're wanting lesson plans to turn into your administrator, please do not be writing lesson plans. Please do not. Okay? It is a giant waste of time. The pacing guide, download it. It never changes. Doesn't matter. Send it to your administrator every week, every month, every time they request it, whatever. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
And if you choose hours when we did it, they still got upset with it.
Yeah.
You can also use your, when you go into the lesson, you can use the instructional guide too to give to them as a lesson plan.
Yeah, if you go to lesson plans right here,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you can, when you go here to lesson plans, it gives you 2 different options, like all lesson plans and then all lesson plans and activities. Download the bigger one.
Yes.
It's something like 1,200 pages.
Yes.
Send it to them and then triple dog dare them to read it. Triple dog dare you to read it. Yes, ma'am.
Can you remind me again of what you clicked on for the main curriculum?
Yes, ma'am. Right here. So we're going to click on menu, and then unique learning systems, and then unit lessons. Yeah. Yeah, and so not only that, but if you haven't heard, you should have heard, UEA sent it out. TEA said these lesson plans where you just put words in boxes. You take words from these boxes and put them into those boxes and then you turn them in. It's bull crap and you don't have to do it anymore. If your administrator is still making you do it, please call TEA. Okay? Please do not be writing lesson plans from scratch with teaks and all that other kind of stuff. ULS has it done for you. You don't be working so hard, okay? Please don't work so hard.
So I have a question about that. So they want us to post our objectives and teaks or whatever. So
I considered putting a picture of mine up here in my thing, but I posted a bunch of I pulled one from like each, like ELA, math, and I have like 16 different whatever, you know, like all the things they could possibly want, and I put them up on my board and I printed them and put them in these little plastic sleeves and made a little bulletin board put up there. It's been up there for 10 years. I'm not lying. It's been up there for a decade and nobody's ever asked me.
This stuff.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It is a giant waste of time. Number one, our kids don't read. So who's reading them? You and the TA, you already know, right? You already know what you're doing. It's a dog and pony show. Put it up, make it look nice, and then don't touch it again until you move schools. I'm dead serious.
We have, yeah.
I'm dead
The
serious.
other thing I've done is taken where the unit talks about what the objective for the month is
Yeah.
I take it and I make a poster size of the unit objective and then the differentiated. I just clip that and put it on a poster size thing.
Yeah.
And that's the objective for the whole month.
Yeah. There you go. Please stop working so hard. I'm going to say that 1,000 times until people listen. Please stop working so hard. Something else that I do is every month I do have my board where I do change like the vocabulary words and the focus and that kind of stuff. On the back of the focus, I print where the focus is. There's like a sort of an objectives overview kind of page. I print that on the back of my thing and I stick it in my green sleeve that I have hanging on my wall. And if they come in and they question me, I just hand it to them. There you go. Why is it in here? Because my kids can't read. Who's reading it? Me. I'm the only one reading it, so please don't. All right, so let's talk about our reading options. These, the first thing I want to say is always start with reading because this is where the entire theme begins. I'm not saying start with reading like in your class time, but when you're planning your lessons, always start with reading. And I'm going to go into this a little more. But you have different things depending on which band you're in. You've got letter and word study. You can make word wall, word games, communication boards, ULS stories, okay, the unit lesson stories. You also have current issues, all the current issues. If you run out of reading, if you find yourself running out of reading every month, then you get 4 current issues a month. Okay, so pull from one of them. You've got 9 courses in the foundational phonics. Lots of people don't know that ULS is adding to courses all the time. And so I actually had to go back and change my slides. I wrote these slides last year when I presented, and I had to go back and change them because they had updated. I had numbers in there that weren't correct anymore. So there are our foundational phonics. A lot of the elementary teachers, the feedback I hear is, well, it's not teaching them to read. I'm like, that's because you're in the wrong place. You have to go to courses, and that's where it's teaching phonics. It's it groups certain letters together. I think each of the 9 has like 3 to 4 letters that it's teaching, and it's got activities that you can assign, all the things. Then you've got all of the N2Y reading worksheets and the entire N2Y library. Has anybody utilized the library yet? You can assign those books individually. If you've got a high-functioning kiddo and he's doing great and he's reading on his own, assign him some books to read. You can do that for extra. So this is what I do. So here's a book, one page that came out of one of the middle school readers that we did. I start here every month. I print out my readers, both of them. The short, in middle school we have a short one and a long one. Okay, short one and a chapter book. I start right here and I read it myself. And I scribble all over it. Okay? And I write down all the things that occur to me that I can expand on or whatever. So what I do with my kids is the first time we read our story, we're not actually reading it. We go through it and we highlight all of our vocabulary words and all of our high frequency words. Because we've already done that lesson. That's one of the first things I do. Do checkpoints, then we do word work, and then we jump into the book and we go through, and they highlight all over their book, okay? All of the word work, okay? Then I look for things that I can pull out. Here's some embedded math. It's in the story. The Dakotas say we're going to try a shortcut, and well, we know that a person walks a mile in 20 minutes, but this in the story, it took them 30 minutes, so 30 minus 20 is 10, and so we've got some embedded math in there. And then here's a Google opportunity. I'm always looking for opportunity for my kids to access technology. Well, it says he uses a compass. Well, nowhere in the lesson did it talk about what a compass is and how a compass works. There's a science lesson I can pull out right there, okay? The social studies, it talks about using a map in this lesson. This was last month. This month we're talking about math, but last month we weren't. So we did some foundation work, and what is a map? What does it look like? How do we use it, right? We've got some anchor knowledge here I pulled out. We've got, says the waterfall. What does a waterfall look like? Has anybody ever seen a waterfall? Have you ever been to a waterfall? What does a waterfall sound like? We can look up a YouTube video and look at a waterfall and get some prior knowledge activated there, right? All of the longer books, this is middle school. Please tell me elementary and high if it's different for you. But there's comprehension questions on the bottom of every story, or all the longer books. So you've got that. And the second time that I go through with my students and read the story, I'm teaching them to annotate. Underline the important stuff. Square the words that you don't know, okay? And we make predictions here. Do we think that them taking a shortcut, leaving the trail and going across the grassland, was that a good idea or a bad idea? And we make a prediction, just happy face, sad face, good idea or bad idea. What's going to happen in the story? And we annotate that. I have them annotating all the time. And that's also a social skill. I might go back to this during our social skill time. Why is that a bad idea? We all agreed it was a bad idea, but why? Well, it's not safe. We don't know what's in the grass. We don't know where we're going. We might get lost. Those kind of things. So that becomes a social skill lesson. And I do that for every story. I've already started this month. This is a short story. I'm writing down questions that I have. I've highlighted. I've looked for themes in the story. If you look at the stories, there's, especially in the short readers, and I'm sure that it's true for elementary, there's a lot of repetitiveness, and you can pull themes out. So in middle school, we're talking about maps and across the mile. So this is Aka's wedding. And not only are we talking about going to this wedding and traveling, but we're also talking about family relations. So she talks about her aunt and her grandma and her cousin, so we can talk about family, okay? She's talking about how she's worried, and then over here she's excited. We can talk about emotions. We can talk about location. So this one's in Florida, the cousin's in Georgia, somebody else is in Japan, somebody else can't come at all, they're far away, And so we can pull out all those things. So also in this particular story, we have modes of travel. So they're talking about, well, one's going to fly, and one's going to ride a train, and one's going to drive, and one's going to be on Zoom or something. And then methods of communication and variation of technology. So she does an email and a video call and all that kind of stuff. So you need to go through here and mark up. You don't need to, but I'm just suggesting this is a way to do that. Go through, and I'm just write all over it. I put sticky notes. This is my idea. What can I do? What kind of project can I make? I went through here and I was like, oh, we could make a travel brochure. That's a good project. We can have them make a travel brochure. And then you've got a science thing that they can talk about. They can go and explore or whatever. And I do that for both books. I'm still working on this one. But you can do both books and go through and annotate and find all of just get as many ideas as you can get, okay? That's why I say start with the reading first, because all of your content's going to come from these stories, okay? When you want to go to writing, we have our ULS has a journal writing. Most of the bands, I think, have journal writing. You also have Into-Y worksheets. You've got editing, book report, topic paragraph, all of that is writing. Write using a word bank of the vocabulary and high frequency words, and use the communication boards to cut up for sentence builders. This is one of my more brilliant moments that I was very proud of. I take those, I laminate the communication boards, because we get, what, like 6, 8, 10 of them, something for every unit we do. I cut them all up, laminate them, and then I've got, it's just a laminated piece of construction paper, and I put Velcro on it, and then I let them use this bank of words to write a sentence. And it might just be something as simple as Mr. Turner hungry. That's a sentence, that's writing. A lot of our kids don't get the opportunity to create. And they say, oh, they get nervous. I don't know about y'all, but my students get nervous because they might mess it up and they don't want to erase. Well, this is really easy, because then they can just, whoop, nope, not Mr. Turner hungry, Mr. Turner lost, or Mr. Turner whatever. Mr. Turner wants compass, whatever. You can do that any way you want. And you can expand that for your higher functioning kiddos. If you wanted to, you can have them spell the words. So you can have a bank of letters rather than the words, or you can mix it any way you want. So here's some of the writing ideas. This is in the topic paragraph. You've got a web here. This is in the N2Y current issue section. It's not going to be on target with your theme, but it still is an opportunity to write. You're building a sentence here. And then you've got the journal. This will be on theme because that's in unit lessons. And then I make handwriting worksheets for my kids as well, because some of mine are kind of higher functioning and we have really bad fine motor skills. So we work on handwriting worksheets. All right. Exploring your math options. Does everybody know about the magic green button? I find this to be my most favorite thing to tell people about. I'm going to come back to this. But there's a magic green button. So many people tell me there's not enough math, there's not enough math, there's not enough math. When you go to the interactive piece, go down here to the go button, okay?
When that just
Whoop.
went, you mean?
How did I do that?
You broke us up into groups.
Oh, I don't know how to do
You press the go button?
that. I pressed the go button and something happened.
No, right in the middle.
Yeah.
The middle button.
This one?
No, the permit, yes. Go back to your locker.
Go
And then
to
hit
Chromium.
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 No. Oh, that's not it.
Yeah.
Oh, you were
Go
in
back
present.
to,
Oh, you were in present. I think she was on shared screen share.
Yes.
Screen share.
Tap on the first tab with your, no,
no,
just where the one is.
Why don't you try to see?
no, not yet.
Tap to the
You're
left.
tapping that.
Yeah, tap that, see what that.
Oh, Lord.
There's arrows on each side of the screen.
We're not gonna try to
Reverse.
Look at one time and say back. If you wanna go back,
You just.
no.
Oh, no, you gotta go.
I did that.
There.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We don't have these in middle school. Can you tell we don't have this? We have the old Promethean boards that have the thing. So anyway, all right. So I'm scared to touch it now. So you're going to go to the go button. Okay, you're going to find one of these that has the green thing. It says dynamic activity. Okay, and when you get to this page, there's a green button right here. Okay. So you work this problem with your kids, right? Maybe this is a whole group activity, because the kids don't have this. You only have this. Is the teacher version. You work 7 plus 5, and then they get the answer, and then you go to the next page, right? Oh, we're going to go up here, and we're going to hit this green button right here, and it's going to populate this with a brand new problem. And you can hit that as many times as you want to, and it's going to keep coming up with new problem, new problem, new problem, new problem. Now, there's not an infinite number of single digits, so you're going to eventually start repeating. But it's going to create new problems as many times as you want to.
I just wanted to say thank you for solving that mystery, I went as high as asking the different administration,
Yes.
about it, and they were like, what are you talking about? So,
Yeah.
thank you for answering that.
The problem with asking SPED administration is they don't use the curriculum. Okay, they bought the curriculum and they support the curriculum, but they don't actually use it. So they don't really know how it functions on a daily basis. So I always say that your greatest resource is actually your fellow teacher. I will go to a fellow teacher long before I'll go to an administrator because they don't know. They don't know. So magic green button. Please use the magic green button. I love the magic green button.
But the kids, you said the kids can't use it?
See, this is in the teacher version only.
I was gonna say, when you assign it, they can use it.
When they can do this, but they don't have the dynamic activities.
They used to.
They, I don't know. They don't now. I don't know. Maybe it's changed for you, but mine don't have a green button. And remember, I'm only on the middle school band, so I don't see what other people have. But mine don't have the green button for the student piece.
Right.
Just
But I thought,
So how did you get to the green button again?
Okay, so when you go into the interactive lessons, okay, so let me show you. I'm gonna go back up.
if you pull it, it could.
Okay, so when you come here, okay, we're gonna pretend this is a math lesson. You're gonna click on this right here, interact. Okay, so when you click on interact, then it's gonna bring up. It'll have the lesson plans first, actually. But you're gonna go over here to the go button right down here. And then you're going to find one of these that say dynamic activities are easy to find because they've got green right there. Okay. When you click one of those, it's going to bring up a page like this with a green button right here. That make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're going to solve that problem and then you're going to do that. All right. Now, another, I should have gone up here. Right here. Okay, I need to go back here. So we did the ULS math lessons. You also have the Into-Y worksheets, right? Everybody know where to find those? You go to current issues and then you get worksheets. A lot of people I hear complain that, well, the worksheets are only printable and I can't interact with them. Yes, you can. You can. You can interact. So I'm going to show you right here. So if you go to News to You, then you're going to go to Activities. The two different ones are up here. Okay, so you've got, because you always see two current issues at all times, right? So you, depending on whichever one you're doing, and then, so click on which one you want, and it's going to populate that, and then when you click open, ta-da, it's interactive. This is going to be a whole group activity. You can do this.
The cupboard, like you have the one that you just said. So I'm trying to do it as you go so I can kind of remember.
Okay.
So I go into, you said activities.
Activities, so News to You, Activities, then choose which one you want, and then you're going to scroll through here and click open on whichever worksheet. It's only going to be one worksheet at a time. It's not like the unit lessons where they're all stacked together. It's not like that. You're just going to have one worksheet at a time. So I like that better. It's kind of easier. If I want to just do the matching, we're just going to do matching today. Okay, well then I'm going to click right there. That's the lesson that's going to come up. Whatever.
So those change even though the table of contents stays the same.
The table of contents
that pulls on that table. Okay.
Yeah, the table of contents stays the same. I don't know if you've noticed or used it enough to notice that it's very repetitive. The format is very repetitive. You're going to do the same type. There's always going to be a color and label activity. There's always going to be a matching activity. These activities are not going to change. The content of what's in them is going to change. Okay? And so when you click on here, that's where this is going to change. Okay? And then you can interact with it. All right? Also, under courses, everybody remember we talked about courses a little bit ago? There are 15 courses. Another complaint I hear all the time is there's not enough for my lowest students. And it is true that the very lowest of the low students, ULS is not probably the curriculum for them, okay? Joe Kelly kind of kids, it's not gonna be for them, okay? But if you've got some level 1 kids in your room that can interact some with you, but they're still really low, the courses, the math courses, is a good place for them to be. You've got a lot of matching, sorting, colors, shapes, those kinds of things is where you're gonna find that, okay? And then utilize the student interface for practice. People say, well, we did the math addition and it's done and we're finished and we just did it all in one day. Okay, well you did it, but then did the student do it independently? You can do these things more than once. You can do it as a whole group, then you can take it to your small group and do it again, and then you can assign it to them to do individually and independently, and they can do it again. Okay? We all know our kids need tons and tons and tons of repetition, right? It doesn't matter that they're doing the same activity. They're doing it in different formats. They're doing it with different people. We all know that if they change locations or change the person they're doing or even where they're sitting in the classroom, then suddenly they've disconnected from the knowledge that they had and they need to generalize that, right? Excuse me. Sorry. So let's talk about our science options. Of course, we have the ULS story content. We already talked about that. In every month, you get a science experiment. Everybody see and know where the science experiment is in unit lesson? Okay. You also have the boxes that say related content, right? Everybody knows where those are. They're kind of down at the bottom of the unit lesson page. You also have the ULS library. You can search the library for any topic, and there's tons of books in the library. Not only do we have physical libraries, but ULS has a library there, and you can go in there and pick interactive lessons there. Not lessons, excuse me, books there. You also have the recipe, which is a science option, and then the N2Y current issues, you get 4 of those a month. Every one of them comes with a recipe and a science experiment and a craft, and you can do those as well, okay? So there shouldn't be any shortage of science activities for you to do, because cooking is science as well, okay? It will tell you, just as a little side note, when you go to your curriculum, it'll tell you what kind of science or social studies you're working on. So right now we're talking about, this month is geography, this was last month. So we did life science last month, we're doing geography this month. If you go to that unit topics that we talked about a while ago, it tells you as well which type of science or social studies you're talking about. If you go to courses, you can sort the courses out by science or social studies, and there's got an interactive piece, a PDF, principal piece, and then this, I don't use this button very often, but you can go in and just look at just the activities. But there's a whole bunch of them. Sorry.
And that is
There's
still level, right?
61 science courses.
Are there still levels like for the students? Like level 1?
I think so. I think they are. I think so. But I mean, even if they're not, it's better than not anything, right? Social studies is, but people keep saying there's nothing there, there's nothing. They say one of two things. Either I'm overwhelmed, there's too much, or there's not enough. What I'm trying to show you is that there's tons. There's a whole bunch. And it's not overwhelming, you just have to understand we're not using all of it. You're just picking out of the pantry what you want, right? We're only cooking the meal for these students on this occasion, okay? Social studies, same way. We have the ULS story content, the ULS lessons, related content. You have the history timeline. Not my favorite lesson. I think they really need to work on that, and I have suggested that. It's not a great one, but it is there. And then there's 82 social studies courses. If you can't do something with 82 courses, I can't help you out.
Do those 82 change every month, or is it?
No, it's 82. So what you can do, think of the courses like a library, Okay, it's a library of courses. Which one matches what you're doing, right? So if I'm in a science month and I'm talking about ecosystems, then my social studies might be where the ecosystems are on the globe. You know, I might be looking at a map of ecosystems, or you know, something like that. So I'm gonna go and look for something that's related to that, right? And then the N2I current issues, you've got the geography. One of the things that ULS doesn't have hardly any of is actually working with maps. Well, every single week you get a map on on N2I. And so you can go in there and practice those. It asks you questions, and I expand on that a little bit. So you get 4 versions per month.
Sorry,
and
where is that? Because we're doing the mapping one this month and I'm pulling from everywhere. trying
Yeah,
to
so
find
you're
maps.
gonna go to, let me see what I've got. N2I current issues. So if you go to current issues, under there, and pick one of those current issues, and when you go to the worksheets, then it's gonna have there's a map every week.
So, I'm not seeing that.
Okay. Let me show you.
This would be downloadable.
It's gonna give me, hang on.
It just gives me options to do more downloads.
Okay, so you're gonna go to News to You, Current Issues, okay? You can pick whichever one you're doing, go to View Downloadable PDFs, or you can go to Activities if you want it to be interactive, okay? I kind of like doing the principal ones when we do maps. But there's worksheets, and then you're gonna go down here, it's sort of towards the bottom. And there's a 2 or 3. I've got page 50, 51. There's 2 versions. There's a lower version and a higher version.
Right.
And so you can do that with your kids. There's a new one every week. So you could do Mondays for maps or something like that, whatever you want to do. Okay? And then, as always, we can go to the library and search by topic. If you haven't used the library, it's under Unique Learning Systems, N2I Library. You can just search for something general like social studies, and these will all be alphabetized. There's a printable version and an interactive version, and you can assign the book to each student individually in the planner. Okay? And it tells you the level here. If you want the guide for what the levels mean, it's right there. Any questions about that? You got it? All right. Social skills and life skills options. Of course, we have the unit lessons. We have tons of books on social skills in the library. Then those places that I told you earlier about to go in and kind of play around in, there's lots of sort of random social things in those, extra core materials, extra materials. And then we have Rethink Ed. Is everybody using Rethink Ed?
No one's told us
So-
about it.
Okay. There is some training. I think there's even a training today on it. It is in your, if you go to your class link,
It's in your.
it says, it's in your apps. It says Rethink. The thing that I want to show you is that Rethink Ed has a scope and sequence. So if you're kind of lost from where to start, if you go to Rethink Ed and then My Resources, and then Organizational Resources, then right here they uploaded this for this year, a new scope and sequence, and you can just go over here and view, download, or I print it and just have it with my lesson planning stuff. Okay. That's not on ULS, but that's if you don't know where that is. Everybody got that one? Am I in the way? Let me move.
Oh, there it is. It's yellow.
Everybody got that one? Good?
I'm trying to do that as you're going.
Okay. have you got it up?
It's thinking.
I have it up, but I
Yeah,
have different things.
so right there, see Fort Worth Administrator, 8/19/24, they've uploaded a new one, so that's it right there. You can just view, download, pull it up, and it's got a scope and sequence. Rethink Ed is not my favorite thing in the whole world. I'll tell you a little thing that I do. The lessons are super short. They're like 5 minutes. I mean, it's not hardly anything at all. Even their activities and all that kind of stuff, a lot of them are not really applicable to our kids. They're not accessible. What I will do is, so when you go to the scope and sequence, here's all the links to the lessons for like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third. It goes all the way down, and then it'll have like the special ed ones at the bottom. I will pick, if we're doing like it's bullying or whatever, that all those lessons are about bullying, I'll do like kindergarten on Monday and second grade on Tuesday and third grade, and then I'll use all of those rather than just picking the one special ed one. You know what I mean? So I'll go through and we'll just keep talking about the same kind of thing, but the videos are different, the activities are different, so I use it to expand. Did you have a question?
We were trying to figure out how did you get to that page, because she's on Rethink, but
The resources, and then organization resources, and then here I see where it's got SEL, MH, scope of sequence.
So my resources?
Yes.
So where is the special ed one?
So if you go, so these tier 3, if you look at the scope and sequence, tier 3 is the SPED ones. But if you'll notice, if you see how there's like a column, and it says at the top, the domain is self-care, the area is optimism, and then it's got like K1, 2, 3 along the left side. I just pick lessons for enough, like 5 lessons for 5 days a week in that column. I don't stick with just the SPED one, okay? Because there's just not enough. Rethink it, the lessons are like 5 minutes. They're not long enough at all. All right, so my favorite part is don't forget dessert. Never forget dessert. Plan those special activities. These are the really hands-on, fun stuff that the kids love to do. In my classroom, we do these on Fridays. And so I will plan one Friday activity that's, it takes more time, more messy, costs more money, whatever. So we do the science experiments and the cooking and maybe a craft. So I'll do one for that week, right? Also, don't be afraid to like decorate your classroom based on those themes, holidays, things like that. And don't forget your life skills. Just sprinkle with enrichment. All right, this is what I use.
what is that Visual?
Visual it's part of Rethink Ed. It's like embedded in Rethink Ed. I honestly don't ever use it. We have so much in just ULS that I don't ever find the need to go
It's
to
good
Visual.
for really low ones.
And in my
In elementary.
Nonverbal?
Yeah.
What is it, nonverbal?
But you still have to do it under.
and
It's better if you have an interactive board, and we don't have interactive boards. Like if you had a smart board like that,
yeah.
Visual's great, because you can take pictures and do it.
They can do it on their iPad?
I've never done it on that, I've really done it on the.
I know that Rethink Ed you can assign, so I would assume that Visual is the same since they're embedded together. They were separate, and then Rethink bought Visual, and so now they're together. But like I said, there's so much in ULS I don't use it. That's just
I think
For
that's
my
why the
particular
district has
students.
Visual, is only because Rethink Ed.
Rethink Ed bought it, yeah. That's probably. So here is how I plan mine. I'm a big rock kind of person. I put the big rocks in first in my thing. So what I do is I go through and I have my whole year, right? And then I type out what is my themes, and then what is the emphasis is what I was talking about. We did government, then life science, geography, transition, whatever. And then there's the social skills. That's all based on that scope and sequence from Rethink Ed. And then I put in special things, and then I plan out my Fridays. And I do this for my whole year, plan it one time, and then be done. Stop working so hard. Don't give yourself decision fatigue. Like, do it all at one time. But yeah.
Okay, I have a question that's sort of on topic, sort of
Sure.
off topic.
Okay.
I print my whole month out and then I put it in binders with the dates, so like I have 1 through 31, and on the first of the month they're doing this,
Mhm.
for reading and math.
Mhm.
I have not found a good way to print it that way, because I don't do all the.
Are you printing everything?
I'm printing, yes,
Okay.
because,
I would not recommend that.
I mean, I do because that's what we do in small group, and
Okay.
we're working on the fine motor and writing and all of that in that small group.
Okay.
I don't want them to sit on their iPads and just drag and drop. They're high
And
enough
absolutely.
to know. But I haven't found a good way to do that without going through and now, okay, on day 1 I'm doing this, and day 2 I'm doing this, and having to sort and organize because it's done
What I
by.
did is I just went through and I wrote the page numbers of like specific activities that I'm gonna use.
Yes.
Like the word
I have that
study.
too. I mean, and then there's the different levels for the different groups and stuff, but it's still like, because I don't do all of the addition the first week. I do addition every single day, I do subtraction every day, I do mapping, the ordered pairs, you
Yeah.
know, so I haven't found a good way to print it and organize it. It seems like,
Okay.
however that planner is, so if I put it in the computer for them to do at their desk on their iPads, isn't necessarily gonna match what I'm doing, because.
Well, I mean, it
of the-
can. If you're not using the scheduler, then you can plan it. That when you use the planner, you go in and you say, okay, I want them to do this addition activity, and I want them to do it on Tuesday the 4th, and I assign it for that date.
It's time consuming, that's why I just
It
did
is.
for this week, because I had the same issue where it's like too many things at once, but I think, like she said, it's worth the time, because then you're not pulling it up and it has everything. Or like at my last school district, I didn't realize the kids were getting every single thing that was assigned, and they couldn't differentiate what they actually needed to like click on.
Yeah, that can be hard if you don't have them high enough. Sometimes I'll have a group that's high enough where I can say, go to ULS, open your pink circle, pick the 3rd activity, or whatever, or find it lesson number 4, whatever. So sometimes you have groups that are high enough, or you train them. I've trained mine. Okay, we're going to the pink circle and we're looking for number 3. Everybody find number 3, and so we practice those kinds of things. So you can do that. But the difference between the planner and the scheduler is you can put it in the planner and assign it for the day you want it to show up and go away, or you can stick it there for the whole month and it disappears when they're done. But the scheduler, it's populating automatically. But then if you don't do it at that time, then, I mean, you are SOL, because it goes away and then you have to go find it and you have to drag it back. And then, I mean, it's a headache, because if you don't stay exactly on the schedule, then everything is messed up. And at times, I haven't looked at the schedule in a long time. I think they might have fixed this, but used to, like if you had math at 10 o'clock and you had a meltdown in your classroom and you didn't get to math till 11 o'clock, math was gone, because on your schedule, reading's at 11. So now it's all reading and we can't do math. You know, I mean, it's a huge headache. You don't want it. I don't want that level of lack of control. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, I want more control.
So like if I put it in the planner, but there's still no way to print it in that order, that
No.
you have to still pull, like.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? So you're saying that you're going into the whole lesson plan?
You're
and
printing
you need to-
everything?
You need to find to print, is that how you saying?
No, I go through and I print all the activities that I want the students to do, let's say for reading. So then I go through and I'm like, okay, spelling, we have 3 spelling lessons. And then I try and pull one so that, because that'd be 4 weeks, I say, okay, on Monday they're gonna read the words, on Tuesday they're gonna trace the words, on Wednesday they're doing the putting the words in the sentence, and then Thursday they're doing the word work, and then on Friday we do the blanks so they can do the spelling test. So I'm sitting on my desk going, okay, this is Monday, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, Thursday,
So,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
what I
Then
have-
put together and copy it, then I have the dividers where I have 1 through 31, and so today's date's the 5th, they go to the 5th, that's what they're doing that day. Which for me works, because I know it's a bulk at the beginning, and then I don't have any more to do for the rest of the month, and then I can pull it out.
Well, I mean, that sort of is the nature of it. What happens with ULS is you do plan everything at the very beginning, and it's a lot of work in the beginning. I do a ton of printing, the last week of the month to be ready for the first. But the way I do I don't have it split by days. What I have it is in my room is it's split by activity. So like I've got short book, there's a file, and I've got like a little one of those stand-up file things that sits on my thing. So I've got like all the short books and all the chapter 1, chapter 2, blah blah blah, and then I've got like editing and the journal and then whatever. So I've got it split by activities. So I know I follow the same schedule every month. So I know, well, the first week we're doing the short books. Whoop, I just pull the short book out and then I hand everybody out.
Yeah, I've done it that way too, but this way I just say, go get your reading folder, they come and I don't have to run around and hand things out, they just go get their stuff.
I don't know that there's a solution for that because we do have to do the thing, you know what I mean? It's a lot of work in the beginning, but the way that you're describing it sounds like once you set it up, like you're done.
I'm done for the month.
For the month, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it takes hours.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I accidentally put this spelling on the wrong, because or one day I have a 3-minute lesson and then the next day I'm like, oh, I should have, and that's obviously fixable, but it seems like if you put stuff in the planner, there should be a way for it to populate to print in the same order that you've put it in the planner, rather than now I have to go back and juggle.
It doesn't do that. I wish it did. I wish it did, but no, it's not that. We don't have that application. All right, so we were just talking about the planner, add in practice and assessment. This is what your students' things will look like. I do want to say that if you haven't clicked this button for new student experience, you need to click that. Yes, sir.
I didn't mean to stop.
That's okay, go ahead.
But is anywhere in that you need, does it have an assessment tool to where you could gauge where students' reading levels and all that stuff is? Because if you got that, please show me that.
Yes, and I'm going to get to that in just a few minutes. I got you. So anyway, let's talk about this really super fast. So new student experience, please click on that. And then you can create classes over here. I find this really helpful for kiddos who have a hard time they just click randomly. So I just created these, and when I click add assignment and assign something to them, I put it in essentially the folder or the class I want them to do that in. So if we're doing, like we did checkpoints yesterday, so I sent everybody to their pink circle. That's where our assessments are. Everybody go to the pink circle. We're going to do checkpoints. And so they know that if there's things in other circles, I'm not clicking that. I'm only clicking the pink one, right? And so you can do it, but you have to have this button clicked. Otherwise, it doesn't populate that way. Okay, so click new student experience. And then when you add it, when you're adding assignments, just stick it in the class you want. So, talking about assessments, I said checkpoints. If you want to, where are the results? I should have done how to assign them first, but you can assign all the checkpoints and benchmarks in the planner. Okay, it's in the same way that you assign all the other work. You assign it in the planner. So where do you find the results? You're going to go to menu button, Unique Learning Systems, into iGPS. Benchmarks are here, checkpoints are here. Okay, that's where you're going to find it. And if you don't know how to change students, it's right here. You're going to click the student, pick the student you want to look at. Okay. So when you go to checkpoints, you're going to click the unit you want, and then what test you want to look at, and then their data will populate here. Okay. If you scroll down from that, you're going to get a little bit deeper look at the skill. It's not just telling you, oh, in August for content understanding, he did really good. You go down here and get more extensive data, more detailed data. Well, he's doing great on remembering, applying, and analyzing, but he's not doing so great in understanding. Oh my gosh! Help!
Then you go to the
Screen share?
Tap on one up top. That first tap on one.
This?
Tap the square.
Thank you. I gotta stop touching the board. Okay.
Just don't even touch that purple thing.
Stop touching the purple. Okay.
Yes. Touch
Stop
the word up there.
So how ULS?
Can you go back one real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
That's,
That's checkpoint.
you're right, it's checkpoint. Okay, I'm sorry.
Totally fine. So how does ULS do your hard work for you? Because it does. Again, stop working so hard. You are giving checkpoints. You are giving benchmarks, right? Because we're all giving benchmarks.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody nod. We're all giving benchmarks. Okay, we're all giving benchmarks. So then we have this data. What do we do with it? Forward, it's data driven, right? We got to do something with the data. Well, the data does your IEPs for you. Okay? It does. Everybody, does everybody remember the in-service that we had at the beginning of the year, and we were in that whole group, and Kira was up on stage, and somebody was like, "Is Goldbook coming back?" And she was like, "I don't know." And I'm the one who piped up and said, "You don't need Goldbook. You don't need it because it's right here. It's already done. Goldbook is just one more step that you have to take home and do on your off time. Do not work outside of school hours. Do this, okay? ULS is doing it for you. So when you click right here on benchmarks, okay? So we're clicking to see what our data is. This is what's going to come up, and they're split by ELA, Math, Science, and Social Studies. Then each of the tests that you can give is going to be over here. So I've clicked foundational skills. There's 13 different tests under there, one of which is environmental print match. My student has done this one already. He did it in August because we all did beginning of the year benchmarks. Yes. Okay. And he scored 10 out of 10, 100%. He did great. Am I going to address the skill with him? No. He's good. He's already. Right. But it can help me write my PLAFs. If you're writing your PLAFs from scratch, please stop. Don't pull it out of the air. Your PLAFs need to be data driven. Right. You're giving the benchmarks, let it work for you. So if I click on that thing, here he is. He's completed this, decoding list 5, blah, blah, blah. He scored 12 out of 15, 80%. This right here is the description of the benchmark, okay? This assessment measures a student's ability to decode words, blah, blah, blah. That is a PLAFS. Johnny can decode words with blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
At 80% accuracy.
So this is something I don't necessarily have to buy them to do. I can just give it to them to do.
Benchmarks, yeah, they should be doing that independently to show what their skill is. You shouldn't be doing a whole lot of helping and prompting.
That on their iPads?
You can assign it in the planner. Yeah, to do on their iPads or Chromebooks or MacBooks or whatever your students have. Okay? So that is a PLAF.
Yep.
Stop writing PLAFs.
Copy and paste.
And it's data. You can back this up. Okay? We're not pulling it out of the air. Okay? And you can turn those PLAFs into goals. We're going to take the exact same thing. Say he's doing 80%. This says that's an instructional level. Am I going to still address this in his goals?
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah? He's doing 80%. Honestly, I'm probably okay with that. I'm probably going to go on to something better. But you could. You could. It's an instructional level goal. Johnny will decode words, blah, 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 with what do I want him to get to? He's at 80, maybe 90, maybe 95, maybe I want to get whatever. Ta-da! IEP done.
Don't forget your, with your, what do you say? Your small construction, verbal prompts.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, this is the hard part. You know what I'm saying? Like coming up with this is the hard part. Dude, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
You know, whatever the conditions are.
Condition, yeah.
You know, that's the easy part. We can do that. All right. So, whew, that's a lot. Alright? It is a lot. It's a lot. And I've shoved a lot of it down your throat right now. But I want to touch on really quick. So we've planned our meal. We've done all the things. Now we're going to set the table. Okay? What do you need? Do you need plates, bowls, forks, spoons, plate settings? What do you need? That's where Symbol Sticks comes in. Symbol Sticks is part of ULS. Replaced Board Maker. If you don't know what Board Maker is, it replaced Board Maker. This is just tells you what does each student need to be successful. That's all Symbol Sticks is. Does Ellen need subject-specific communication boards? I can go make her a communication board. Symbol Sticks has these already, the format already made. You just drag and drop the symbols in there. Okay, Daniel needs a first-then chart to help him self-regulate. Already in Symbol Sticks, drag and drop. First we're going to work, then we get Matchbox cards or whatever. Sophia needs an interactive story to help her stay focused. Drag and drop. Symbol Sticks can have all of those things, okay? I'm not talking about Symbol Sticks, but just so you know. All right, now, you're ready to serve. Does anybody have any struggles, questions, ideas, anything like that? Anybody have any questions I can help answer?
So until I get iPads, I guess until I get iPads, I'm gonna have to keep printing.
Yes, yeah. And honestly, I do all three. I do whole group activities, small group activities, iPads or Chromebooks or whatever. But I said three, but multiple. I also print. So we do some activities in print. We do some activities whole group. Some activities I do whole group, then small group, then independent on print, and then we do it on our iPad. You know what I'm saying? Like, because our kids need repetition. So some of the activities, we're doing them 4 and 5, 6 times maybe. You know, they do a small group with me, then they do it again with the TA. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we do it multiple times. So and given that our kids need as much repetition as they need, I mean, to say that there's not enough, well, there's not enough addition. Well, it's because you're only doing it one day and you think they got it. They don't got it. They wouldn't be in your room if they could get it in one day. Do you know what I mean? You need to be doing it as a whole group. And then on Tuesday you did this small group with the TA. And then on Wednesday you did it in print. And on Thursday they're doing it on the computer. And, you know what I'm saying? If they could do it in one day, they wouldn't be in your class.
Okay,
Yes,
so the Symbol Sticks is
Symbol
for,
Sticks.
for nonverbal.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Like maybe you just need like some vocab cards. Symbol Sticks is you can make anything you want with Symbol Sticks. It's basically just Board Maker. You can also write. There's a function in Symbol Sticks where you can go in and you just start typing and it automatically puts the symbols to support that word. So you can write your own social story, whatever, and it puts the symbols underneath the text as you're typing. Symbol Sticks is just a souped up Board Maker. That's what it is. Let me get out of the way. This is a shameless self-plug. I have a TPT. I have all kinds of organizers, lesson plan, documents, IEP trackers. Just shameless plug. Shameless self-promotion.
Where in Symbol Sticks can you do that? Because that's what I've been missing from Board Maker is being able to do social stories with pictures. I haven't seen it.
It's in the paint board.
I can't remember.
Okay, so you go, I've seen it, I create communication once.
Yeah, if you go to Symbol Sticks, there's all kinds of things that you can create. So you want to create, just go over here to, because you want like a creative board.
And I think you have to keep going down, and there's like all of them stuff.
But you can do custom. If you go to custom, you can just have like a blank thing, like just custom portrait. Name it something so you can post it. Yeah.
schedules and all of that, but a Miss Boardmaker.
Oh, symbolized text, that's what it is. Symbolized text.
Shapes and text.
Yeah. So then you're gonna say, is it? Yeah, symbolized text. Yeah, and then double click on that. And then you're gonna erase symbolized, or just start typing.
Is that something you can show us?
Oh, yeah. Oh, did somebody close the door? Oh. We're gonna have, we don't have to find somebody to open it. We found some coach that had the key.
If you go out that door, take a left, the teacher's lounge is that first door to your left.
Okay, so does everybody know how to get into symbol sticks?
No.
No, okay.
Click on symbol stick.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're go to menu, symbol sticks prime, and then, what is it, search or home? No, it's not search. Board wizard, that's what it is. Board wizard, and then you're gonna click custom, okay. You're just gonna create a, whatever. Alright, when you go to, it's gonna pull up right here, and you're gonna go right here to shapes and text. And then it says symbolized text, you're just gonna pull it over here.
Wait, are you in custom?
Yes.
Okay.
I went to custom, portrait, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Shapes and text, then it, I'm gonna make that a little bigger. I just click symbolized text, I drag it over here, and then you're just gonna start typing.
Because it doesn't have shape and text. I don't have, yeah, shape and text, yeah. It says nothing, my symbols are remembered in 2020. Oh, I did remember.
And as you type, it just sticks it in there. It symbolizes the
Where did
text.
you get shapes and text? Where was that?
Right here.
No, it didn't come up.
I get it.
Oh, you gotta name it first. You gotta like create it, yeah.
Save my board as.
Yeah, save it as, and then create. And then you're gonna do shapes and text. And then you're gonna click that and drag it over. Yeah, just that whole thing. Yeah, and then just double click on that. You want the word, sorry. It's very small.
Shapes.
Yeah, there you go.
And after shapes and text, you went to text.
Yeah. No, you go to symbolize text,
Okay,
drag it over, then it looks teeny tiny.
yeah.
You're just gonna click on that and be like, this is my story. Okay, let me get out of your way. Okay, does that make sense? Is not doing it for you?
I did what she said, and then now if I change it, oh, Josh.
Here, you wanna click right there, and then you just
Put
start
the text in
typing.
there.
Yeah, yeah, then you gotta just start typing the text. Okay,
Like my story.
okay.
So what am I doing? That's like
If you need any help,
sticking to.
this is my email for Fort Worth ISD. Please feel free to use it. I get teachers emailing and calling me all the time. It's totally okay. I mentor tons of teachers in Fort Worth. I do not mind. We also have a Facebook group that I run. Several of us that are presenting today, thank you so much, are on there. We don't mind answering questions. I put up videos and links and things and ideas all the time. So, yeah. Does anybody have any more questions? Anything that you're struggling with in ULS in particular that we did not address?
Getting it all done.
Well, okay.
I know, you pick and choose, I know.
It is, and I'll tell you this, just from 25 years of experience, stop working so hard. Don't try and do everything. Do what your kids can handle, and let the rest go. Just let it go. And when the bell rings at 4:30 or whatever time you're at, 3, whatever, I don't know what time the elementary is at. When the bell rings, go home, and don't take this with you. I don't take my computer home at all. I do not take it home. If I can't get it done in the day, it doesn't get done. Because you have to protect yourself. Because let me tell you what, these people ain't paying you no extra for none of that.
No.
And it's not worth your mental health. It's not. It's not. And if the kids are watching YouTube for 10 minutes while you're trying to get the planner loaded, so what?
That's
So
what
what?
I keep telling.
So what?
Yep.
If you feel guilty about them watching YouTube for 10 minutes, put them on Google Earth and show them the I Feel Lucky button.
CNN 10.
I mean, seriously, like just,
Priestly.
yeah, yeah, there's tons of things you can do. It's okay. They'll be fine. It really.
Yeah.
They need downtime too. They don't need 8 solid hours of just, they can't handle it any more than I can. Yeah.
They cannot do it.
No, it's not, I mean, it's no big deal. None at all.
Okay, so today,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a little.
I'm gonna hold these up so y'all can do it. This is not necessary. You do it if you want to. This one to get attendance.
Which one's attendance?
Blue is attendance. You get credit by doing blue.
Yeah, they go quite just trying.
Here, let me.
We gotta do both of them?
No, you don't have to do both of them. This one is completely optional. Nobody cares if you do this one. Blue is the important one.
Mine's not getting close enough.
Blue is the important one.
Well, is the other one for you? Cause I'm gonna get.
What's that?
Is the other one the survey for you?
I'm sorry. I don't actually know what this one is. It might be, I don't know. If you wanna do that one, you can. It's not gonna hurt my feelings. It's fine. This lady doesn't know exactly what she's talking about. What is this?
I don't know what that is.
It's a survey for how you think.
Well, it's just not mine.
Good question.
Ooh, it did something.
There.
Go ahead.
I wish they had given it to us, like, digitally. I would've put it up there. but they didn't.
What's the name of this?
This one is ULS cooking up.
So can you,
They changed it, like cooking up good plays or something. I don't know. They wanted a football theme. I'm like, I'm talking about food. I don't know what it is.
can you explain, after everybody fills this out, can you explain this a little bit?
So the times is, this is supposed to go to 9:55.
I wanna say.
ULS.
And this was session 1.
The session title is what's cooking up.
Yes, this session title is ULS cooking up something good. Or cooking up some good plays. I'm so sorry. Let me turn that around. So the times.
ULS cooking up some good plays. But I guess they want the
Football theme.
yeah.
What's the session number then?
It's just
Is
session.
that first one?
Right?
I mean, the session that you go to.
This one is supposed to be over at, I think, 9:55.
But this is session 1.
This is session 1. For some reason.
And I'll do the survey for you.
When I have to do that training info.
Good job. 9:55, the next one starts at 10 to 11:30. I'm gonna take a picture of that, 'cause I can't find it.
Yeah, 184. I'm sorry.
So, the session, so to explain this right here, it tells you that how many sessions there are over here on this far end. If there's 4 sessions, then you go to 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, like they'll have there'll be 4 times. So the 4 times 90 minutes, those are the ones you can do. If it says 2 times 90 minutes in the AM, if you want to go to that one, you need to go right now. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's 2 times in the PM, you have to wait. The symbol sticks right there. I don't know who's doing that one, but that would be a good one to go to next.
Yeah, cause there's no
April
time.
March. The times are, the next session starts at 10 o'clock. It's 9:52 right now. 11:30. So 10 to 11:30, 1 to 2:55, or 2:25,
Tell you
and
that I
2:30
love
to
your
4.
hair. I was looking at your hair because I'm natural too. Majority of the time I'm trying to figure out stuff to do for myself, but that look like it takes some time.
My daughter did it
Oh,
for
well,
me.
that's
And
good.
I, so when she's in town,
Okay.
I take advantage of it, she's in college. So when I do it, you'll know it, she just pulled back in the bun. And I'll wear it like this for a while, then I'll do a twist out.
It's nice.
Thank you.
Well, it's just for the information. Yes, ma'am? No, ma'am, I'm presenting at our training.
Oh.
It's supposed to be next to the air conditioner that's kind of skinny in the middle, right inside, like the one next to the old part of the building, because it has to be near where those plugs are. There are plugs, electrical outlets near that air conditioner. Take the one that's skinny. Okay? Yes, to the right. Just move on. Yeah, just move on. If you're facing the air conditioner, it's to the right. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. Thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate it.